Hey guys, welcome again to the COVID-19 apocalypse, survival tips, and other unsolicited information with your host, Papa Wolf. The effort here is to do an unedited video, so we're gonna give it a shot. So I don't forget, Monk wanted to say, hey, this is Bad Monkey. You'll be seeing him getting involved in some other shenanigans. Anyway, there will be a final thought that is a tip, but I've kind of, to me, made a big deal about like my subscriber only video, the long one, you know, that it was politically neutral, and an effort for somebody or for everyone to at least give it a chance to get the information, and you know, and it's not a trick, there's no political messages there. You go off somewhere else on the page or the channel, you might find some things, but today's political. And before you disengage real quick and start typing a comment about who I voted for, who you mistakenly will think I am registered with as far as a party affiliate, and different things like that. When I say political, I'm not talking about whatever the names are that the red party and the blue party use for each other. You know, neocon's been around forever for the far right of the right. Libtard, you know, is pretty nasty, coming from the red to the blue folks. You know, there's really no need for that, and that's the difference between politics it's now and, you know, even 30 years ago. The ability to be nasty and hateful by anyone to any other person or any other group is readily available. And it's a shame to see it being used by so many folks right now. And this is what I meant about this being political, is that I view political as what is and what isn't happening within our government, right, wrong, or indifferent, red or blue, green, or whatever the party at some point may be our president. There are certain states, this is just observational information, and what does it rationally mean to me? And at some point someone will absolutely, due to cognitive dissonance, excuse me, will turn off. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was doing that to the camera, my bad if y'all made it through that. The thing is, somebody will hear, you know, that this is about government and automatically assume that this is, you know, like anti-POTUS or pro wannabes. Okay? What I mean by political is that without a shadow of a doubt, we have seen our current administration, the leaders of we at one point were the paradigm for any other country. You know, other countries wanted to be us. We were, from being a country, being a citizen of a country, we were the model. We were the best of the best, and we have lost that. And that's neither here nor there for this video, but we have lost that. And we, as a nation, and when I say we as a nation, our administration has been slow to respond to needs. Our administration has also attacked state governments. I'm really sorry about that, guys. Please bear with me if you can. And I should have checked all that out before. I apologize. This being much different from the succinctness that you usually see in a video will be explained in another video that has to be edited a bit. But I do lose, as they say, the train leaves the tracks every now and then. Does not mean I don't have some good information. So I'm just going to have to recap to get myself back on track. And that is, we are seeing daily, and I'm not talking about one channel, another channel, nothing like that. Straight up, what is happening? Okay, so if what is happening is that our administration at the highest possible federal level is making it difficult for any state to get the supplies and the items that they need, be somehow lowered in status for return calls based on whether or not the POTUS is pleased with the way their governors or mayors interact with them. Now this is just the wind. Sorry guys, I'll try to wrap this up. So this is affecting directly human lives, bottom line. So that crap has got to stop. It won't stop without as many people as possible sending the message to your senator, your congressman, your governor, and your mayor to please unite. We don't need to bitch at anyone. We don't need to send a "you're doing a shit job at uniting." We need to send a unity message to get on the same page, because I would choose not to have to admit it, that I am watching governors of states like Mississippi overturning or overruling mayors, city mayors' orders for stay-at-home and other quarantine-related items. This is nothing but counterproductive of uniting and saving as many lives as possible. So if you see fit to see this in the way that I happen to see it, or if you see it similarly, or that you can see, even without my perspective, that it would be a much better thing if from the highest level of government to the lowest, when it comes to a national emergency, which has been declared by the highest level of government in the land, a national emergency. We have a national emergency, but states like mine, and for those that didn't know, I'm in Jacksonville, Florida, and I'm not a huge fan of our mayor, plain and simple, but he's doing a damn fine job of making sure this city / county that we do as much as possible from a local government standpoint, to the instructions and orders and guidelines that are being presented to the citizenship of over 1 million people. We hit 1 million people, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, I think. A really good job. Mayor Curry, props, man. And then I see things like today, and there's a reason there's been a couple days where I wasn't on, and there's a reason I'm not going to bother editing this video. But the governor of Florida, has declared a certain level of emergency and quarantine level for South Florida. I can't wrap my brain around that. I said in a video a week ago yesterday that I wouldn't be surprised if, Jacksonville, if Florida had shut down, full shutdown, that week, if not this week. And the common denominators are who is that, or who are they aligned with versus who are they not aligned with politically. And I do not think that any of our local mayors or governors, except for our one that is now our senator, and that his name is Rick Scott. I don't care what you think about me for sharing my opinion. It spills out every now and then. He would appreciate a lot less book learners and people in my age bracket and older that remember a lot about him from a public information standpoint. Just lost the line I was going to use from Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie where Freddie's papa had, good words, good deeds, good things, maybe something like that. So let's just say he's got, more cons than pros on his list as public data, not my opinion. So that needs if it is not coincidental, let me please leave room and excuse me. I don't feel real good. I'm in a little bit of pain. So, if it doesn't seem irresponsible or somehow disconnected to anyone of voting age of any party, if it does not seem somewhat disconnected and more challenging than it should be, that when a national emergency is declared, that then FEMA steps in, just like they do with a hurricane. And gosh, we're in Florida, we know about hurricanes. That's why I'm sitting out here in the rain. Some people would call this a storm. It's not a storm. Now, I'm not stupid. I'd use every opportunity to evacuate when we had a travel trailer. But anyway, so if anyone across the board politically, and hopefully you got to this point, if any of you find a reason that's more compelling than to unify our government, and I'm not talking about a political process or changing the way our government structure, democracy, socialism, none of that. I'm talking about cooperation. Just like we are cooperating with self-quarantines and staying home, and if we don't need it, we don't go get it. And it's why I share with anybody that will listen to don't be that guy or that girl that gets on YouTube, or woman I should say, on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, because you just bought out every freaking paper product in a Dollar General store. Let me just remind anyone that appreciates my humor, my sarcasm, and my insights that I used to very much enjoy watching the movie. And excuse me, I just plopped down at this. I've got this table piled full of crap. Mama Wolf is going to fry me if I don't get it cleaned up soon. But it's raining now, so she's not going to come out and holler at me. So we're good there. And this is a brain fog we haven't talked about yet, but what I call the train leaving the track, and I know we were talking about if anyone and of voting age, and what I mean by that is, and just a side note, I think the millennials feel that they have taken an unnecessary or undue amount of criticism in regards to social distancing, and I don't think they're wrong. There's a lot of them in regards to millennials doing a lot better job at it than some boomers and some Xers. You know, a woman just a neighbor in a surrounding neighborhood on the Nextdoor app. A lot of you probably have the Nextdoor app. You know, it was a few days ago or last weekend, and she just noted that, you know, a house in their neighborhood, she didn't out the address or anything, just, you know, there was at least half a dozen unfamiliar and visiting vehicles with however many people were in those vehicles, and it totally was a party. I mean, by all audible accounts, it was a party. And I'm going to hear about this, but I'm going to say it anyway, without calling out anybody. But if you're self-quarantining and you're looking for activities and things to do with the kids, or to keep them quiet, or to have them go into an area that they're contained, and I do not mean to interfere with anyone's business, but I cannot recommend some sort of an inflatable device that your child is going to be climbing on and in and out. And the only reason I say that is because I am absolutely ignorant to what the process is for any particular company or any type of inflatable to be sanitized. I just don't know what it is. So I'm assuming it's not good enough, and I could be wrong. Please comment if you know, or whatever. Call me a dick. I don't care if I'm wrong and you're doing something. I'm stoked. But from the general public's perspective, I don't know this information, and so it seems like a really bad idea to me for folks to rent any sort of inflatable or a bounce house or whatever you call them, when we now know that COVID-19 has a known surface life of 17 days. Wait till it mutates. We haven't even talked about that, and nobody else has. And that's okay. Because we need to just unite. We need to send a similar message, and this is going to get you out of your comfort zone. It's gotten quite easy to get messages, automated email, a phone call, or you in onto the line or the voicemail of your representative, governor, mayor. It's quite easy to communicate with them now at a state level, all the way up to, well, our last few presidents, you know, have Twitter accounts. So, or several, excuse me, several of our past presidents, I don't know if anybody past, God love him, Mr. Carter, Georgia Bulldogs. I'm sorry. I just had to do a little representing there. No wonder we got into the rescue business, right? But so this is going long, and it was supposed to be short, but the political side of this is that there shouldn't be anything more important to any party and any member of any party than the highest government of the land at the administration level, the POTUS, on down to the senators and representatives, the congressmen and the senators of our states, that everyone is cooperating, and that a state is not getting, several states aren't getting backhanded on news coverage or media coverage, whatever you want to call it. It just, everything about that seems counterproductive to me. And if anyone that ever sees this video comments that, well, you must be a Democrat and the Democrats deserve it because of the way they were treating Mr. Trump, this virus is politically blind. That is what has been so mind-boggling this whole time. The virus is blind. It's an insult to your neighbor or friend if they're a different race from you to say, I'm colorblind, because some of you will say this is just being too sensitive, or they shouldn't be so sensitive, whatever. But by saying that to someone from a different race from you, or if it was someone saying it from a different race to me, that they're colorblind, they're disregarding everything. And people have a right, pretty much, for us white Caucasians, they could pretty much do that. Nah, we don't got to worry about them. We earned that one. I will not argue with anyone. I will debate anyone on anything, but I will not argue with anyone on any particular point. And if I allude to it, it means I know something about it, so bring it. I'm feeling froggy after a couple of days. So, in an effort, no matter what political party affiliation you have, I can't imagine that anyone that doesn't agree that us being united seamlessly from the top, from the White House to the state to the cities, it should be seamless. It needs to be seamless. It can be seamless. And I have actually seen enough to where I'm willing to go, I'm a tad embarrassed about how the POTUS is handling this on national TV. I am a citizen of the world. I can tell you, as many of my contemporaries can tell you, that we do not have any luster or shine for any of the other countries anymore. There's still rhetoric about people coming to the States for cures and medicine and this and that. Rhetoric. I do have the best eye doctor. The best optometrist. That probably could add surgeon to his name and save Mama Wolf's vision in her left eye. And we're politically divided in that friendship. So a long time ago, instead of just pissing each other off, we said we need to stop talking politics. You know, we can do a jab or something on Facebook, but we just shouldn't talk politics. And we had not done that yet the day my wife had a problem seeing out of her left eye, one of her eyes. And I very humbly called his office and asked to speak to him. And I asked if it would be okay if we came in to see him. And he did what I guess you would expect any doctor to do. But I don't really think I expected it. But without hesitation, he said, "Of course." And I don't know if he said, "Of course, dummy," or I think he went straight to what's going on, and I told him what I knew, and he let me know he was leaving in a few hours and that she needed to be there within an hour. And due to his exam, and I know this has gotten off track, but this is a credit where credit is due thing. Due to his exam, his diagnosis, or what he thought it was, his diagnosis, was what it was. He made sure we got into a retina specialist the same day, not the following Monday, which 2020 hindsight, she would have lost complete sight of the left eye if that had happened. Because he is as qualified as he is as an optometrist. Call him Doc. Without hesitation, he was thinking much less of any issues we had between us than I was, because it was humbling to call, but I knew he was the best. And nothing about my ego is worth anyone else's safety or any other health issue. So, actually, I try to keep, I had to think of the word because I try to keep ego at a minimum. If occasionally it'll show, I have to admit. But like I said, when I was in my teens, and I still do, and I believe Dolph Ziggler stole it 30 years later, it ain't bragging if you can back it up. Or it ain't cocky or whatever. You know what I mean? So, if my ego slips out, I apologize in advance. But right now, what I'm trying, in a very non-brevity type way, but I'm trying to give examples of some extreme relationship mends by pulling the red and blue out of the deal and keeping it as friends and professionals. You know, what are we sacrificing? Some drama. So as a nation, what are you sacrificing as a citizen of this nation by taking the time? And I'm not assuming that anyone is not already doing it. I'm just pleading that anyone that sees this will take the time to reach out to their particular political leaders at the state and local level with it can be the same letter, just change the who's or the twos, and just send it to as many people as you want to. But a letter from you as a citizen of your city and state of the United States of America are asking each member at every level of government I can't imagine it needs to go any farther than mayor, but God help you if it does. I mean, that's kind of like maybe the purge has already started, but I lost track a little while ago I was going to talk about how much I enjoyed watching Idiocracy, and I just can't enjoy it anymore. But I'm starting to get wet. Originally I was going to do this out front of the compound by the pond and let y'all check out the goldfish while I rambled, because the water would have been soothing to me and y'all wouldn't have had to survive those table jerks. Oh shit, going on 30 minutes. Take the time to send a letter of unity, a message of unity, and that as a citizen you wish for our government to be unified in its response to the lives of its citizens in regards to COVID-19. If you're of like-mindedness of myself, excuse me, that not only is the virus non-committed to any particular party, it doesn't know if someone's an illegal immigrant or if they're here illegally or not. You're seeing ICE agents for the first time quitting because of the lopsidedness of what's happening in regards to ICE. So what better time could there be to take a moment while we're on home quarantine, and a lot of us were shut-ins, if you will. I'm not a shut-in, but I don't drive, so I'm not out every day. A lot of us are, this is nothing. We've been doing it for years. And I'm going to post a little thing, and I'm going to end this with, none of this surprises me, because I've seen what some of y'all will do for a Klondike bar. Peace, love, and happiness from Papa Wolf. I hope the message of unity is received by all as genuine as I intend it to be. Thank you.